Welcome to the Beloved Warriors Healing Power of Joy podcast. My name is Sarah Lasley. I am the founder, CEO, and chaplain for Beloved Warriors. And this is Kelsey Helton, who is our director of programs. And we are just super excited about this topic. We do want to share a little bit about us first before we jump in. I'm a single mom, and I have 3 kiddos that are in my heart. I have a stepson that is from a previous marriage that I still hold close to my heart. And then I have 2 biological kiddos, Eli, who is 20 years old now. I can't believe that. And in college with a degree in exercise science. He's working to be a physician's assistant. And then my daughter, Gabriella, we call her Gabri, but she's 17 and a senior in high school. So besides Beloved Warriors, I'm also certified as a high performance coach. I'm also certified as a mental health coach, and I do a manual healing process with people. So you can hear in my life, I just love helping people and building joy with people, whether it's ministry, mom, or in my business.
Yes, me too. So I am Kelsey, and I as well have a mental health coach certificate. And my family, so I'm married to my husband, JD. We've been together since I was 14, so we were babies. Yes. And so we have 3 awesome kiddos. So Jalen is 22, and he's working to become an electrician. And then Kaylee is 18. She just graduated high school. We had a lot of stuff to do.
Yes.
But she's looking forward to going to college in the fall and hopefully getting into youth ministry one day. And then Ryder is our youngest. He's 12, and he'll be going into 7th grade. Let's just say he's happy to be on summer break. So.
Yes, I think my kids are too.
Yes. And then something else I just like to share about myself right up front is that I do live with an eye disease. It's called Stargardt. So it's basically the early onset of macular degeneration. A lot of people have heard of that. So my center vision is gone. I do have some peripheral vision, but it's not great anymore. It's like 20/400 with no correction available. So I do have a seeing eye cane now and all that fun stuff. But I just like to share that right up front just so that you kind of get an idea of what I live with, really. Yes, so, Beloved Warriors, who are we and what do we provide? Mm-hmm. So, Beloved Warriors is the women's ministry, and then we also have Faithful Warriors, which is our men's ministry. So, our mission is to help people find courage and victory in a life with Christ. And we do this through our programs. So, we have our events and we have our small groups. Now, we also do outreaches. We go into different transition homes, and, we do small groups for them, dinners. We invite them to come to our events for free. We just want to bless those people. Yes. And we also have a free share training that we do. Now, this is a training to become a facilitator here in Beloved Warriors or Faithful Warriors. And it's a great way to get to know about us more, but also we want to equip God's people and warriors to move in his kingdom. So it's great for that. And so that share is actually an acronym, something we share at all of our events and our small groups so that people know who we are.
Yes, right.
So I just want to briefly run through that. But the S is for safe. We want all people to have a safe place to share their thoughts and feelings. And then the H is for healing. We believe that Jesus heals mentally, physically, emotionally, in all the ways. So he is the healer. And then A is for ask. We are going to ask questions at our events, at our small groups, just to stir up a great discussion. And then R is for respect. We want all people to feel respected right where they are. We're all different. So that's an awesome thing. Yes, and then E is for encourage. We want all people to be encouraged when they come to our events. So that's just a little snip of who we are and what we provide.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah.
I'm often asked, where did Beloved Warriors come from? Well, it came from my heart. So just to tell you a little backstory, if you don't know, in 2011, I was at a women's conference with one of my friends, and I had just gotten remarried to my second husband. And we were sitting there, and we were listening to this woman talk about her ministry. It was amazing. They really took in women that were in really hard places, that had been prostitutes or addicts or homeless. And she told a story of one woman that really had made a connection in her ministry with the Lord and wanted to, when she got out, she wanted to go to a church, and she had to go back into her home area. And she was worried, are they going to accept me and love me? And the leader said, hey, they will, of course. Why wouldn't someone love you? And the first church she walked into, whoever greeted her, she kind of went there and, asked a little bit about it. But the woman said to her, you know what? We really don't have people here like you. You may want to find another church.
Wow.
And you know what happened? That woman went home and she committed suicide.
Oh, my gosh.
And I remember that hitting me so deeply. And, I have been a Christian since I was very, very little, grew up in a Christian home. But that doesn't mean that I haven't faced a lot of pain, trials, brokenness, mistakes, sin. And I really just heard in that story just a lot of heartache, brokenness, judgment. And so this question came up in my heart, and I just said, well, Lord, where is that ministry that's for any woman that she can feel loved and accepted, and we're all together and we feel good, And I heard him in my heart say, you're going to do it. And it kind of surprised me for a moment. I really believe that was my call to this ministry. And in that moment, I immediately sat down. I had a notebook with me. If you know me, I often have a notebook. I'm taking notes. And I sat down and just started writing it out, what I believed it was going to be like. And especially the word warrior came up in me, because I had been through a divorce already, and a lot of brokenness already. And so that is what is important to us. Spiritual growth has always been important to me. Growing as a person, maturing, it's always been something that I have seen myself grow and mature when I'm in a community of fellow people that aren't afraid to be real and share their victories and encourage each other, because I know I'm not perfect, and there's many areas that I need to, try to grow in. And so that's what we continue to do, don't we, Kelsey? We try to learn and grow.
Yes. So one of the ways Sarah and I have continued to grow and learn to lead better is through a training we went through called Thrive. We did their premier training. So it's been awesome. It's been a ride. It's just added to our ministry and what we do. So I want to give a shout out first, though, to a couple amazing people who we learn from. So Dr. Jim Wilder, he is with Life Model Works, and he is what you call a neurotheologian. So bringing the Bible and science together, it's been really cool stuff. And then we have Chris and Jen Corsi. And they are the leaders of Thrive Today. So they're the ones we trained under and learned from. And then we have Amy Hamilton from Alive and Well. We took some of her courses and just has been a blessing to us as well. And then, of course, we say our best gift we got from going through Thrive training is Barbara Moon. So
without a doubt.
Yes.
Right.
So she is amazing. She actually learned from Dr. Wilder himself and has been doing these joy skills and teaching herself, has all kinds of books, and for over 30 years. So she's been a personal mentor to Sarah and her family, and to me as well. So is there anything you want to say to Barbara about Barbara?
Oh, my goodness. Well, Barbara has just been amazing in how she kind of took us under her wing, because I believe that when we were even there at Thrive, she actually came back to our little group. Do you remember that? Yes. And really wanted to encourage us. And so she has been in this journey with us as we are growing and maturing, and a big help in that.
Yes. So we found out about Thrive. Sarah found out about it, and you have to have a partner for the training. So she comes to me, she's like, we're doing ministry together. She's like, hey, do you want to do this training with me? And so the first week is called Joy and Rest, the first year. And I was like, heck yeah, that's what I need in my life. Like this, I need some more joy and rest. So little did we know what we were in store for, but it has been so worth it.
It has. And one of the things that, we want to kind of tell you is about our journey and where we were at the time when we started our Thrive training. And our goal in Beloved Warriors is always to be real and authentic. So when you hear us talk about our brokenness, and also we'll talk about even how other people's brokenness has affected us in our lives too. And we say that not to call someone out or blame or any of that, but to be really real and step into courage and say, here's our truth. Here's what's happened. And here's what God's done, and here's how we've grown. And we just really hope that our stories will help impact other people as well. So when I started Thrive Training, I had been separated for almost 2 years, or maybe a little over 2 years at the time, and had moved back to Inn thinking that, okay, we're going to make this work. And that was with my second husband. At that time, we had been married 11 years. And what I kept pushing down and really kind of ignoring was what all the counselors in those 11 years was telling me. And one of the things that they were encouraging me was showing me that this wasn't a safe environment for my kids and for me. In that environment, emotion was used in a negative way. And so there was mental, verbal, and emotional abuse and manipulation. And, at the time, being a Christian, I very much value marriage. And I know that now as I look back, I do see that as abuse. But I had never really grown up understanding that. I didn't grow up in an environment like that where there was emotional or mental, verbal abuse. And so I was really trying to navigate something that was super hard for me. Yeah. And I was super broken, coming to that. And what I know, and I hope what you hear in our stories, is that God has grace for all of us, even those that hurt us as well. So.
Yes, I was in a really rough space as well going into that first year of Thrive. So just the summer before, with my eye disease, it's a slow progressing disease. And so it gets worse over the years. And so I finally come to the point where I needed the seeing eye cane. And so that was like a whole journey for a year of learning to walk with that. Plus I was doing these classes with the blind school to learn to do things more like a blind person. Yeah. And let me tell you, that's physically and emotionally draining. It's just a lot. So there was all that going on. And then that Christmas before, there was a horrible trauma that happened in our home. And, I was still dealing with that at the time as well. And then right after that, right after Christmas, I have 3 brothers, but my brother Jordan, he got sick with COVID and went into the hospital. And of course, we thought, we were praying he'd be fine, he'd come out. And unfortunately, he did not. 6 weeks later, just after he turned 40, he passed away. Yeah, so sad. Needless to say, we were devastated and just couldn't fathom that would happen. And so I was in a just heavy grief still at the time we went to Thrive. And so there was just, my kids were going through different things too. It was just a lot at that time.
It was. And, in this journey, what Kelsey and I are learning is really how to suffer well. That's one of the things. Because this life isn't without suffering.
No.
And so you can hear it in us, the things that we've had to go through. But even while suffering well, we're learning how to build maturity, how to have healing in our lives. And guess what? Have joy.
Yes.
Because joy is so important. So Barbara Moon that we mentioned earlier, and I actually wrote a book, and it's recently out. You can get it on Amazon, but it's called The Healing Power of Joy. And it's really about discovering the immense value and healing that, joy has for us, for our mental health, for our faith, for our relationships. And so what's inside the book is 7 different topics. They all start with the word V. So this podcast, we're going to go through these topics and really kind of unpack them and talk to to you about them, because we want you to be experiencing joy in your life and that healing power that comes from building joy in our lives. So inside the book, you're going to hear some teaching, there's scripture, there is even 5 days of devotion with each topic. There's also joy skills. We're going to be talking about those joy skills on our podcast, but there's more inside the book. And then we also have in there, practical things about our life and, a little bit of a testimony as well. So there's just a lot that we're wanting to share and encourage people with.
Yes. So let's talk about joy.
Yes, let's.
Let's. So what is joy? Of course, we all want more of it, I think.
Yes.
So joy is knowing that someone is happy to be with us. I just love that definition.
Yes, I do.
And so that means that joy is relational. Like we build joy in relationships with people and with the Lord, of course.
Yes.
And so I think I used to think of joy only as that excitable, like you're like, woohoo, like joy, Yes. But joy also is when you feel that peace and calm in your mind, your body, you're just like, so we want all that joy.
Yes.
And so growing up, we were supposed to learn all of these skills, different tasks and things at different stages of our life. Now, a lot of us have holes. We didn't learn these things because of different things, maybe how life went. Maybe your parents didn't know how to help you learn to build joy. And we're not blaming parents here at all, because we all do the best with what we know. But also it could be because of abuse you've been through, or neglect, or trauma, or just life. As we said, we suffer in life. And so sometimes we don't learn these things. And when that happens, our brain can actually learn to track for fear instead of joy. But the good news is that God created us to live out of joy, to grow joy. And so we actually have a joy center in our brain, which is pretty awesome. It's that prefrontal cortex. And so the awesome news is that we can build joy and grow joy our entire life. There is hope. So these skills that we're going to be teaching and that are in the book, are literally practical skills that you can do in your everyday life that are going to help you build joy, help you build your capacity.
Exactly. And they're really so simple, to do. So just to kind of explain a little bit more on that, your prefrontal cortex, that joy center, is kind of like a bucket. So it can actually continue to grow our entire lives. Kelsey's already talking about this. And in the adult brain, it actually makes up 35% of the brain. And so it matters that we have joy, because joy grows this area. And so we also have in life, some distress as well. And so our distress can be small or large. But if our joy center is small, and then we try to put distress in our life, it's going to shut us down. We're going to either shut down or explode because we can't handle it. But if instead we work on building that center and it becomes much bigger, then even though the distress may be the same, we may still be losing our job, or, bills are piling up, or the kids aren't acting right, whatever. We'll be able to handle it better because our joy center is bigger. So it's not going to cause us to lose our age, as we say, because what really happens with this joy center is this is where our character can change. It's where we can help regulate our emotions. It's all about even reading people. So it's going to help our relationships and even our health and healing. So that's why this is so important. That's why we really want to talk about, how can we build this? How can we do this? So Kelsey's going to help us with that. How do we start building joy in our brain?
So we have something that we call relational circuits, or you may hear us say RCs for short. But this is something, that is in our brain. So we are working, to notice when people's are on and are off. So it's important. That's been the biggest thing for me in helping with this. So we have some acronyms to help us know when our relational circuits are on and when they're off. So when they're on, we're going to run through this. It is an acronym for the word cake. And this comes from Chris Corsi and Marcus Warner. And so the C in cake is curious. So if your relational circuits are on, you're going to be curious about the person that's in front of you. You're going to care about what they're saying. You're going to ask them questions. You're going to be engaged with them, right? And then the A is for appreciative. So you're going to be appreciative for that person. You're going to find things that are good about them. You're going to be thinking good things about them, and just life in general when your relational circuits are on. And then K is for kindness. I mean, when you're kind, your relational circuits are on. If you're not, they're probably not on.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
stay kind. And then E is for eye contact. So if they're on, you're going to be engaging, looking at that person in the eye. I think I notice a lot when mine go off that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to look at them. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there is another cake, and this is an acronym that I kind of piggybacked off of what Chris Corsi and Marcus Warner did to help you understand, well, what do they look like when they're off? So it's still the word cake, but the C is you become critical. So this can even happen in our thinking. You know, we may even start running a narrative, like someone that we usually love, and then all of a sudden they've done something, and now I'm just running that narrative. Oh, they always do this, and I'm just getting critical in my thinking. And that's a sign that, we are dimming or shutting down. The A is we become annoyed, especially, there's things in life that, we're good with, but then we may feel tired or hungry, and then the annoyance level goes up. Those are actually things that cause our relational circuits to drop or dim, but that's a sheer sign. If we're getting easily annoyed, then our circuits are probably off.
Yes.
The K is keep pushing. So this is one that I am working on in my life, but it's the idea that if something is happening or somebody said something, we may try to keep pushing and trying to get them to understand us. And that's not what we want to do. It's always about, when we're talking about staying relational, it's about putting the relationship as more important than even the problem or getting someone to understand. But when our relational circuits are off, we could feel like, I just want to be right. And so we keep pushing beyond what we should. And then the E is escape. Sometimes that feeling that comes up is like, I just want to get out of here.
Yes.
Or you're looking at that other person and you're like, I want you to leave. Right? So that is when we can recognize these signs. And this is what it's about, is helping people recognize the signs of, how am I feeling? What's really going on inside? And the idea isn't to always be on. That's impossible, right? But it's to then start to realize, what is it that makes us dim? What is it that starts to shut us down? And learn ways of staying more relational when we're around those that we just really love. And with people, people in general, we want to be those things. We want to be curious, appreciative, kind, and make eye contact, of course. So let's kind of talk about ourselves. We're going to tell on ourselves today. What do you notice when yours are going off, Kelsey?
Yes. Okay. So for me, I'm definitely somebody, when mine are dimming or going off, I definitely want to escape. I just want to, I kind of shut down. I just want to watch Netflix, like leave me alone, put my AirPods in,
Oh, yeah.
But also I've really noticed about myself. So something else I've been going through these past several, like 6 years now, I've really had a lot of health issues. And so I finally found out last year I've been living with Lyme disease.
I know, so hard.
Thankfully got treated. I'm recovering, but it's been a very long road. Yeah. But I'm here to say, like, people living with chronic illness or pain, like, I have so much more empathy and compassion because it's hard. And when you feel that way, when you're tired, you're exhausted, I just have felt run down all the time. Like, not myself. That's not my normal or who I want to be. Right. And so my relational circuits definitely every day dim a lot quicker than I would say normally would be my norm. And so I've really had to work on that with especially my family at home in the evening, at night when I'm tired. And I want to be present. I want to build joy with them. And so I have really, I'll take a break, I'll take some deep breaths, or, I'll go off and do some of these other joy skills we're going to talk about, but just really help myself to get back on so I can be present and then rest when I need to, obviously. But and then, for me, there's different people who can just turn my RCs off, or different conversations that may trigger me, things like that. So,
right. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks for being real.
Yeah.
And I've seen you take better care of yourself.
Yes.
Now, because
this has really helped
because
me.
it's so important to, care about those people in front of you. So, yeah. So same with Kelsey, definitely can shut down. But one of the things I think that I have to watch is I can be so task focused. Like I can be on my computer and my kids will come in and try to talk to me. And, I'm doing the, yeah, sure. And did I really hear them? No. Because then they'll call me out. Mom, do you even know what you're saying?
Yes.
And I've had to readjust and learn that, wait, I need to be making eye contact with them. I need to take a second to do that because I want to make sure they feel like I care about them and see them. And so, being in a task can shut us down. But one of the other things, like I can tell you, I kind of already alluded to this, but I can be that justice fighter and stand up girl. I've always kind of been that person that will stand up for someone else or stand up when I feel like not. Yeah,
she's a warrior.
I'm a warrior. Yes. That, I will also, if I feel like I'm being misunderstood, then I'm like, no, that's not, and I'm trying to get someone to see me and understand me. And what I've realized that sometimes if I just keep pushing, then it's no longer about that person. It's more about me trying to be right. Or I'm trying to push a truth that I have that this person doesn't, or, and I think even as Christians, I think it's really important that we watch that because it's not always about just giving that person the truth, in that moment. There's time for that, and if we keep pushing and we'll just shut their RCs off and ours will go off and then nothing's good. Yeah. We're definitely not, not making any progress in that relationship, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about family. What do you see in your family? How's this helped? And their RCs go off too.
So helpful. Yeah. And obviously everybody's different. So it's been kind of cool to see, okay, what turns their RCs off or on. And so different things. So like my youngest, anything talking about school, thinking about school, like will turn his RCs off. Yes. Like he does well in school, but he doesn't want to talk about it after school. And so we had have had a lot of nights of just really big upset for the past several years. Just it's really hard for him, has a lot of anxiety with it. Yeah. And so coming back from Thrive, I really started to put this into practice and kind of teach him some breathing and different things when he would accept it. But I've really seen a big turnover with him, going from these long, drawn out, hour-long upset sessions to, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And he's, helping him learn to self-regulate those emotions. So that's been huge. And then, different things. My daughter definitely, her RCs can go off when she's tired. That's a lot of us, but I notice that with her. And then my husband can be different things like traffic or sports he's watching or things like that. And then my oldest son can just be like, if he's not interested in the conversation, he's probably not there with you really. So, but it's been neat to see their differences so that I can just, if they're not in the moment, they don't want to talk right now, I just kind of let them be and move on. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell you that for my kids, I'll start with them. So my son Eli, who I said is 20, it can definitely be sports because he loves sports. And I like to give the example of the Bears. At the time of this taping, they're not doing, they didn't do so well last season. So there were times that, I wanted to watch the game with him and, he just wanted silence, He was not wanting anyone to talk or, or say anything. And I'm the type that I like to get into this where I enjoy watching sports. I've grown up watching sports and, so I had to just understand that that's just how he's feeling right now.
Right.
You know, his relation circuits are off because he's not happy with what's going on. And so I can have compassion for that and understanding that. For my daughter who's 17, I've noticed what really shuts her down is when she can't find something. Okay. She goes into a little bit of a panic, right?
Yes.
You know, and I have learned not to, you know, as a mom, we can kind of go quick to, I'm frustrated that she's frustrated. You know, why is she acting like this, you know? And I've learned to just be okay with that. You know, right now her relational circuits are off and she's kind of in a little bit of a panic. And so I can learn, you know, help myself to stay calm and just be like, just start even looking. Sometimes it's not me even saying something to her because, you know, it's that question parents like to ask, where'd you have it last? And they're like, if I knew that, you know, but just to be with her and be looking with her and showing that I am staying calm and looking for it. I have a funny one about my parents. This just happened last night. They were talking, my mom was talking about my dad losing his patience. And while that is so unique is because my dad is a very patient man.
Yes.
You know, Kelsey knows this. I mean, we've said he's had the patience of Job, and growing up, I mean, at Father's Day, he was voted the most patient father. So, but when it comes to saran wrap, my dad loses his relational circuits.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't stand saran wrap.
I can't either.
His patience goes. So I was telling him, I'm like, see, now you know what shuts his RCs off. It's saran wrap. Don't ask him to use saran wrap.
That's funny.
So as you can probably hear, you know, what Kelsey and I are expressing is that understanding this about our family helps us be more compassionate.
Yes.
Helps us really see, you know, what do they struggle with, you know, and some of these could be areas of maturity, especially like in our kids, stuff that we want to help them grow in. But how we're helping them grow is by modeling something different, because what you're hearing us talk about is emotional regulation. And in mental health, that is like one of the number one predictors of good mental health is being able to regulate our emotions. So it's the idea of no longer just reacting to life, right? Like losing our age and just reacting to life. Because when we lose our age, we just start to act younger, right? So we really want this Healing Power of Joy podcast to be such an encouragement to you. And in each podcast, we're going to close out in prayer because we want to pray for you. We want you to know that our heart is for you. And these aren't just stories, but they're something that's meant to help encourage you. So Lord, I just thank you so much today for the opportunity to let our listeners know about the healing power of joy that comes through you. And we just thank you that these small skills of even noticing our relational circuits and understanding that more can help us be better parents, better friends, better spouses, and better witness for you in this world. And today I pray that you meet that listener right where he or she is, and that they know that you are Emmanuel and that you are always with them. In your name we pray this, Jesus. Amen.